Hi and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to cook madeleines with parmesan and a hint of bacon. Perfect for a picnic. Before we get started, I'm going to talk about the tin. Now, for a madeleine to be called a madeleine, you need this specific type of tin. They're very shallow, they're in a sort of shell shape with a little frilly edge. Now, I bought mine from Lakeland. If you want to make these, it is really worth going to the expense of getting the proper tin. I'm going to prep the tin now, and for this I'm using a cake release oil. Now, you don't need this, you could just use a basic oil, but I have got some, so I'm going to use it. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put some on my kitchen roll and I'm going to rub it in each one of these little shells. Put some more in. Right, you want to make sure you get into all the little creases in the shells. I'll put a little bit more on this front one down here. Okay, there we go. Just spread it all round. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle flour into it. Now, this helps the cakes release at the end, and I'm now going to just tip out any loose flour, and that is the main bit of the tin done. And there we go, that's how it looks when you've done that bit. Now, before I even start baking the next bit, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of chopped rosemary in the bottom of each little shell. Not all of it, because the rest of it's going to go in the madeleine. There we go. And here I have a pancetta, which I have just cooked in the oven until it's really crispy and chopped up really finely. And I'm going to sprinkle that over the base of the madeleines as well. Now, this is just going to give a salty hint to the madeleines, and it goes so well with Parmesan cheese. Just want to make sure we get some in every single one. I think the bacon probably amounts to about a teaspoon of chopped crispy bacon. Now, if you haven't got any, you can leave it out. They taste just as wonderful without the bacon, but it just adds that little bit of saltiness and just perfect. There we go. Now that's our tin prepared, and we can get on with making the madeleines. The first thing I'm going to do with prepping the madeleines is I'm going to melt some butter and honey together. Now, in here I've got 40 grams of runny honey, and to that I'm going to add 75 grams of butter. There we go. I'm just going to pop that on the hob and let it melt gently while I get on with the rest of it. The next step is to whisk the eggs. Now, I'm using my big machine. You do need some sort of electrical mechanical help, unless you've got very strong arms, because this does take a while. I've got 2 large eggs and I'm just going to break both of them into the bowl. You need to beat them until they go pale in colour, they'll thicken up and they'll fluff up and they'll be creamy. So here goes, let's turn the machine on. And there we have it. They're gorgeous, fluffy, creamy and light in colour. And now they're ready for the next stage. My butter's melted with the honey, and we're just going to fold that into the egg mixture. We're trying to keep as much of the air in those fluffy eggs as possible. There, that's done. I'm now going to add 75 grams of self-raising flour. Oops, there we go. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Again, with a cutting motion, I'm going to fold the flour in to my eggs. Don't worry if it looks a bit lumpy. Nothing to worry about, just keep cutting and folding. This is 50 grams of Parmesan cheese, and I'm going to just put that in, along with the remainder of the finely chopped fresh rosemary. There we go. And lastly, I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of yoghurt. This is natural yoghurt. 1, 2. There we go. And all I'm going to do now is continue to fold until everything is incorporated. All I'm going to do now is spread my batter between the 12 little Madeleines. There we go. You don't need to smooth them out, you just need to sort of evenly spread this between all 12. They'll sort of sort themselves out in the oven. All that's left to do now is to pop it in the oven at 180 for about 10 to 12 minutes. They'll puff up and they'll go golden, and you'll know when they're ready to come out. When they're cooked, remove them from the oven and leave them in the tin to cool for 10 minutes before you turn them out onto a wire rack to cool completely. Don't they look wonderful? They've cooled down and they're all ready to eat. They're perfect for a picnic. Let's just see what they taste like. Look at that. They're light and fluffy. Oh. And they're delicious. You've just got that slight hint of sweetness from the honey. Absolutely gorgeous. I do hope you're going to have a go at making these, and I'll see you all again next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the notification button. Thank you for watching. There we go. No, she's so hot.
She just doesn't know what to do today.
She's so hot.
Hey,
Bless her. You're hot.
You're hot. Yeah.
I'm hot too. Oh, I need to put the oven on.